Southern California, yeah.
Born and raised our DNA. Laugh and cry to what we say. We hit you with that wordplay.
4053.
What episode are we on? D, they feeling like they be zombies, all dressed in Abercrombie.
SoCal DNA coming in live. 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. COVID got you sitting inside. Why not sip one and free your mind?
Cheap thrills, popping pills, stacking cash, spend it fast.
Listen to all of Don's lives as Arjun act like he's surprised.
Damn, might I say that is a whoever drew that is freaking talented as hell, man.
Ooh, are you looking at a picture, perhaps?
I
Perhaps an
am.
interesting
I'm looking at a
Okay.
picture, you know, and I am admiring that piece of art. I'm gonna go ahead and toast to it. Oh, there we go. Ooh, bubbly. All right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. But I'm curious, since you are drinking a little bit, could you tell the audience, including myself, what are you sipping on tonight?
Oh, so today we're joined by none other than the Bruery with a sparkling blonde ale aged in oak barrels with natural flavor added, clocking in at 3% and named Brite Ideas. Hibiscus lime flavor. Kind of their take on like a seltzer. It seems to be the new norm nowadays. Everyone's fucking like White Claw, truly, truly. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And this one's pretty good. It's tart. I don't consider it a beer, so it doesn't get a rating. But I fuck with it.
So, so you don't consider it a beer because it's so low in percentage for alcohol content? Or
Yeah.
For another reason you don't consider it a beer?
Yeah, so low. You gotta hit at least 5 for me.
But still, for the sake of continuity, it'd be it'd be kind of sad if we didn't rate anything today. What would you give it? Maybe a 1? A 1D?
No, because it's a simple one. I'm also giving this one. I'm giving it a nice. I'm giving it a single D, 0.8. Single D, 0.8. All right.
Part of the reason why we settled on a maximum of 4 Ds was to be kind of like digitized. Like, all right, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, or 4. We're gonna go with the 1.8. 1.8 D.
Yeah, we're going 1.8. 1.8. 1.85. 1.85.
Ooh, we're climbing up as the beer gets more bubbly.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I got you. And I think real quick, speaking of the picture that you were looking at, Don and I were actually both admiring this interesting cover photo for an article written by the Level editors, interpret that as you will, from medium.com.
Sure.
And this article is called Who's Having the Best Rap Career After 40? Now, in the interest of full disclosure, neither Don or myself have actually read this article,
I
but
have not.
what really captivated us, and what Don was commenting on earlier in the podcast, is a beautiful, very detailed, very, very detailed picture by Ulises Farinas. So shout out to Ulises. This was very cool to look at, and I'm sure at this point Don has the full image broadcasting from his screen, so everybody can see if they're watching the YouTube stream. And for those that aren't, I'll kind of summarize what's happening here. So this is the collection of the rappers, hip-hop artists above age 40 that are having a good career, right? Good or really good career.
Sure.
And obviously there's a ton of characters here. From the top, we got Kanye West, which we could easily identify.
Yep, that's easy.
And you can tell there's Snoop Dogg next to him.
Yes, sir.
And then on the second row, let's start with the second row. I want to let you go, Don. Who do you think that person is with that fedora?
The fedora on the second row? Oh, all the way on the left.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, dude, I was looking. I was like, "What? Are you talking about Rick
fedora.
Ross? Rick Ross ain't wearing one. Are you talking about the dude in the pink?
So here's the funny thing. I actually thought that was Rick Ross at first.
Is it?
But I think it may be Tariq. I mean, not Tariq. Is that his name? Black Thought. Yeah.
Really?
Like, remember Black Thought from The Roots?
Oh, you mean on the left? No. I wasn't even talking about that. No, I think it does look like Black Thought. No, I was thinking it was more of a maybe Big Boy.
No. Big Boy's down there at the bottom in his fur coat with the A hat.
Oh shit! I didn't even look that way.
well, you got to look at the whole thing, bro.
Oh God! All right. Okay. Well, all right. It's not big. Who is it?
All right, okay, so I think the first one there has to be, like in the second row, has to be Black Thought. I thought it was Rick Ross at first, but I don't even know if Rick Ross is 40. He may not be. So let's say that is Black Thought.
Okay. Well, obviously the next one, I know who this is.
Okay. Do you want me to say?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's MF Doom.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got the next one right.
No idea who that is.
E40, the rapper E40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like the only one wearing real glasses, not shades.
No, see, what's weird is I thought that was a Brooklyn cap.
Oh.
And E40 wouldn't be rocking Brooklyn.
Well,
cap.
it kind of looks like a Raiders cap, actually.
Oh, that's yep. Okay, that's definitely then.
Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
You feel me?
Well, for now.
Okay. For now, yeah, they're gonna go to Vegas. I think next season. Is it right?
It's supposed to be this season right now.
Oh wow, interesting.
But all right, is the next one Rick Ross?
It has to be, right?
It has
to be. So I don't like that Rick Ross though. I think most of these characters are drawn well, but I feel like this one, I don't know.
It's a little underproportioned.
To say the least. Like, I don't think Rick Ross has ever worn jeans so tight before.
Oh,
you feel me? I think those are real tight. Okay, the next one is probably really easy. I'll let you get it.
I have no idea who that is.
Come on, who's the only rapper that wears pink?
No idea. Pink? I don't fucking know.
Cameron from Dipset.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why is he turned around?
I don't know. I think there's probably a joke behind it. I'm not really sure. Okay, another rapper who's turned around. You got this one.
That's
easily.
M.
Eminem?
Yeah, M.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And then, come on, we reviewed their album.
Oh, there we go. RTJ themselves coming in hot.
There you go. I like it. And then the last one.
That's
very
common.
Easy.
That's common.
Common.
Look at that. Hey, they even got him buff and everything because he is. Check that out.
Dude, he's like rippling through his sweater. His body, his upper, his upper body and arms are just like the legs of Rick Ross.
Yeah, imagine they just copied and pasted that.
I think so. Just different skin color.
Oh shit.
Okay, now this is where I get stumped. The third row next to the fire hydrant. Who in the world is that?
See, at first I thought that was probably Ken, but I was like, no, he's not over 40. At least I don't think he is. Okay. Is it? Wait. Let me look through the rest. I have a possibility if it's a New Yorker.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's Nas.
Hibiscus?
No, I think that's Nas.
No, really? That Nas? Oh man.
Well, okay. I'm using like.
You're right.
Well, because I'm assuming that's Push under him.
That has to be Push,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they'd put them kind of next to each other, and I don't see Nas anywhere else in the picture. And if they did not include Nas in this top 40 over 40, that would be. I'm ashamed. We're not posting this if that's the case.
I know. Well, let's do a quick Control F.
Go ahead. You go ahead and do that. You go ahead and do that. Actually, I'll do it.
Number 24. Yeah.
There we go. See?
Number 24. Okay, so that has to be it. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. I think the next one. Oh gosh,
dude looks like Montel. You know that dude that was like
talk show host?
Yeah, the daytime talk show.
Montel Williams. Yeah, you think it's Montel Williams?
Does he have a rap career?
Maybe underground, super underground one. I'm gonna have to pass on this one. I really don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is either.
Moving on. This next one, I want to say it's Beanie Siegel.
I wouldn't know. This is more your genre, I assume, or your style rap. I wouldn't know.
Well, I'm desperately searching for Beanie Siegel, but it doesn't look like he's on there. That might be Biz Markie, actually. Biz Markie, Beanie Siegel.
Could be.
Oh, wait, is it a Wu-Tang Clan member? That might be Raekwon. Oh, dude, I think that might be Raekwon.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, he's surrounded by Wu-Tang members, so.
So I think it makes sense. Okay, so that's Master Chef Raekwon, and then oh gosh, who's the one with the Phantom of the Opera mask?
I have no idea, and I'm a little ashamed because it should be a straight giveaway if you know.
Yeah. Let's see. He has a huge gold chain with a medallion and some kind of a bird on his wrist. I don't know. We got to pass on that one. After him, that must be. is that DJ Quick?
Is he a
On the
rapper
ones
though?
and twos? Yeah, with the orange cap on.
Is he? Yeah, it's Quick. I see Quick in there. Okay.
Nice. Okay. So after that, gosh, is that Jim
Yeah.
Jones?
Yep.
That might be Jim Jones.
It's Jim Jones.
Oh, he does not sound like that at all. But yes, that is Jim Jones.
It's a noise
Now,
suppression taking place. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are still using Discord today. So let us know how we sound, and we're trying something different, especially on my end. We're trying noise suppression just to see if like you guys can hear some of the background noises from like the fan or me clapping randomly, like I did just there. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the very last character on this row, I don't know who that is.
I don't know
Any
either.
ideas?
I don't know. And I think it would be wrong of me to like control F white guy.
I'm not even sure if he's white, to be honest with you.
No idea.
Okay. Let's keep moving. So we did.
Alright, so we got
Pusha T
Push.
there.
Who's the guy under him?
Oh, he has quite a beard, doesn't he?
He does.
Oh man. Is it Mos Def? I don't know.
No.
Actually, this one I have no idea. I don't know who that one is. The one underneath him, unless that's 2 Chainz. That's 2 Chainz, huh?
No.
Let's see.
2
By the
Chainz
way,
would be
Don,
the
you
one
should-
that's like he'd
By
be
the way,
blinked
Don,
out.
if you could turn your volume up a little bit. It's kind of a little hard to hear you. But
Really?
I think
it's
it
a
might
it's
be
a
2
noise
Chainz.
profession.
You know what? Let me turn it off on my end. Maybe it's suppressing you.
No. Let me turn off mine. It should
Oh,
help.
you're turning off yours? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Should be better
That
now.
might be better. Okay. I think so. Okay, so let's say that's 2 Chainz down there. To his right.
Oh, I see 2 Chainz. Okay, I thought you were talking about the dude that's like fucking with the gray ass beard.
No.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
gray ass beard, I have no idea, but
Yeah.
bottom 2 Chainz, above 2 Chainz with the mic, I don't know who that is.
I don't either. I don't even know who's on the car.
Who is on the car? He has an S. Is that Joe Budden?
Should be bigger.
No. He should be bigger. Yes, that's true. Okay, so maybe we don't know them that well. Moving on. Gosh, this guy, the bald guy with the peace sign. Any ideas?
No idea.
Okay, skip it.
Skip it. I know we got Outcast right there in the middle, so we
That's
get on
true.
that.
Big Boy and Andre 3000. I don't know who the guy is all the way down below.
I don't know, but I'm liking how he dresses. I'm liking him.
He's interesting. I think above him is probably Gucci Mane. No, not Gucci Mane. Young Jeezy, right?
Could be. I don't know what those guys. I just know the woman is probably Missy.
Misty or Missy Elliott?
Missy Elliott.
Oh, got you. So in between, let's say, Young Jeezy and Missy Elliott, who's the guy in the jumpsuit? The little like.
Fucking no idea, man.
Dude,
With the water
this
bottle?
guy, dude, I have to say, like, this guy with the water bottle looks very similar to the guy on the car and to the guy left of him. Like, they all, like, who are these brothers? No pun intended. Who are these brothers? Okay, so to the right, I want to say that's Gucci Mane, but no, it's not.
Let me see
I
if there's
don't
any
know.
names that come up really quick. Oh, Puff was in there.
Oh, maybe that's Puff then.
Where?
Wait, it maybe the one with the chain, like the all black next to Missy Elliott.
No.
Wait, is Timbaland in there? Timbaland? No, he's not in there.
Too Short's in there.
Oh, so one of those is probably Too Short. I don't even know.
I
what
think Too Short's the
looks
one
like.
in the front with the piece.
Okay, maybe, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, Busta's in there.
Oh, Busta's the one with the clothes you like. That's Busta.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense.
Okay, so we have
Juicy
who
J's
else?
in there.
Oh, see, I don't even know. Oh, Juicy J's the guy with the beard, I think.
Yeah. Oh, could
Okay.
be. Who else is in there that we haven't? Jeezy.
Jeezy. Oh, that's Jeezy then, the guy who you
Yeah.
thought was a white guy. So you're close. You're actually
Rock
right. You're actually right.
Marciano is one of the what do you call it? The ones in the middle.
Oh, okay. I'll
Okay.
give you that one. I don't even know what he looks like. I'll give you that one.
Inspect the deck.
Oh, that's okay. So that's the guy next to MasterChef Raekwon.
Yeah.
Boy.
Of course,
You
Missy's
guys-
in there. Missy's in there. Andre 2000, we called out. Kanye, we
Yep,
called out.
yep.
Method Man, you didn't call him out, but you knew he was in there.
Wait, Method Man's in there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know which one's Method Man.
I have no idea.
It's okay. Keep going. Keep going. I know
What is
you're
it?
gonna
Bumby?
go.
Bumby's in there?
Oh,
Bumby's probably the one that's on the bottom left.
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because he has the beard usually.
Yeah. Alright,
okay,
who else did we miss? Jim Jones, you knocked out. Big Boy, we knocked out. Nas is in there, right?
Okay, so that was Nas.
Fabulous.
Oh, Fab.
Ooh.
You know, Fab doesn't look like any of these people to me.
And you're gonna be sad about this one we missed. We missed Jay Electronica.
Oh, wait, is Jay Electronica next to Missy Elliott?
Oh, shit. I don't, it doesn't say where. I don't know. I'm just reading out the names going down.
Oh, okay.
Jay.
Yeah, I thought some of these had pictures next to them, but I guess not.
Yeah, not the, it's like actual photos of them. We got Q-Tip in there, right? So you're probably, well.
Oh,
let's see.
yeah. All the guys that I didn't really know.
Fonty?
Like Fonty. Interesting.
Part of Little Brother.
Yeah.
We got
guess
Jadakiss. Jadakiss also.
Oh, so Jadakiss was in there. Okay, I was wondering about that. Interesting.
Ishmael Butler.
Man, that beats me. No idea.
Fat
No
Joe.
idea. Fat Joe is not in there.
That's
is
probably
he?
your Joe Budden. It's Fat Joe.
Oh my gosh, okay. Although it's funny how you said that Joe Budden would be bigger. Interesting. All right, I think we probably spent more than enough time on this picture. But again, shout out to Ulises Farinas from Medium. Great article. It's always cool to kind of look through the rankings and figure out who's number one. No surprise here, it is Jay-Z. He's been rocking it. Probably no rapper does it better at the old age than Jay. Consistency, being a businessman. He is a businessman. You already know. So yeah, shout out. Really cool article. But I think the fans are eagerly anticipating the bet that we were doing last week. We kind of teased it. We talked about the play-in tournament that the NBA will have. Of course, in case you missed it last time, guys, the NBA is going to have a play-in tournament for the final seed in each conference. There is a stipulation, of course. If the 9th seed is more than 4 games behind the 8th seed, then there is no play-in tournament. And, of course, if you look at the Eastern Conference, there's really only 9 teams invited back, and it's down to the Washington Wizards and whoever else is the 8th seed at the moment. If the gap between the Wizards and the 8th seed is too large, we don't even have to worry about the tournament for that side. They're just going to go straight to playoffs. Really, what we care about today is the Western Conference. So,
of course, the best conference.
Don, how about you give us a quick rundown of seeds 5 through 13 to let the fans know who we're working with?
Sure thing. So, top 4, we're not even going to talk about. They pretty much solidified their place in playoffs, and they're probably going to be seeded just as they are right now. Maybe some minor shifts at 2, 3, and 4. At 5, one of the potential picks between Arjun and I, for whatever reason, possible pick, we have the OKC Thunder being led by none other than the great, you guessed it, Aquaman.
Stephen Adams. Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were about to say that.
Hey, man. Hey, I think it's his last year on the contract, or does he have one more year on it? But
I think he might be there for a few years, man.
He just got a massive contract.
I want to say,
dude, he is such an underrated center.
I don't think he's underrated. I think he's adequate.
Think he's
I
adequate?
think there's enough people that know him now. They respect him. They know he's tough. People that played against him don't think he's underrated at all. I think they realize how key of a cog he is in that Chris Paul pick and roll. So but you're actually right. So I was looking at the salaries here. He signed a 4-year, $100 million deal,
Nice.
25 per year, and his last year at 27.5 mil is next season, 2020, 2021.
So they might offload
yeah,
him.
man.
Might offload him
Dude,
for a pick.
I gotta say, man, I would love to see him on the Lakers.
I would love to see him on a good team.
Oh, is that a diss?
That's a super diss.
Is that a diss?
Yeah, man. No, I'm just kidding. Thunder's doing all right, but they're not gonna fucking take the whole thing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't think we're too concerned about the Thunder
Yeah.
either as the 8th seed or as a competitor for the Lakers.
And their future, to give them credit, their future is looking very bright with the number of picks they have. Now it's all about turning that into something.
Sure.
Coming in at number 6, we got none other than the Houston Rockets, featuring Brody and the Beard. I don't think they're going to slide. There's a possibility they might. At the 7th, we have the Dallas Mavericks, led by none other than, who do you want to say, Luka Porzingis? Is Porzingis even playing? Was he hurt?
You know, he's always banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope he's playing. I hope he's around.
Okay.
Let's say he is.
Yeah, and then we got Boban in there. Can't count him out. And then now we get to the real number crunching analysis part. At 8, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. We won't go into too much about it. I'm sure we'll talk about it some more. And further down, we got some Trailblazers, the Pelicans.
You got it.
Pelicans? I don't know. Probably a new team. Insignificant. We got the Kings, Spurs, and Suns. Which I don't even. Did you confirm that they're still at the tournament?
Yes, they were the last team. Right? So I think the way that we want to do this is basically, we're going to have 4 picks between us. So Don gets 2 and I get 2. And Don was very nice enough to let me pick first. And what are we doing? We're basically picking the seed, or we're guessing who will be the 8th seed, first and foremost. But I think beyond that, we're also looking at the 8th and 9th seeds, right? I think the plan is
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have it set up, or I had set up, where those that qualify as the 8th and 9th seed that gets that new option they built into the NBA, as almost like a playoff play-in mini tournament, I guess. We wanted to see what that's like and treat our final scenario, or winning scenario, to be the winner of the 8th seed itself. And then after that, I assume that DNA will go ahead and set up a real bracket after that set.
Oh yeah. I mean, more than likely, I'll be bringing back that NBA playoff bracket that I ran for the past couple of years. So we'll talk about that more later.
There we go.
But yes, for this one, I say we might as well get started. So,
Sure.
Don, thank you for giving me the first pick.
Sure.
And with that first pick,
The Suns!
well, let's hold your horses there a little bit. I will go with none other than the one, the only, Lonzo Ball and his Pelicans. So you knew I was picking him.
I got it.
Yeah, New Orleans Pelicans for me. My reasoning, well, I think they're probably the most exciting team for me in the NBA right now. I want to see how a trimmed down Zion Williamson plays heavy minutes alongside Drew Holiday, who's their leader. Lonzo Ball has been playing well too. I think overall, with Brandon Ingram playing at all-star level, they really have everything for a stretch run to make it to that 9th seed, go into the tournament, and maybe beat out whatever the other team may be, and get that 8th spot for the playoffs. So that's my first pick. How about you, man? What do you think about number 2?
You go with the Pelicans? Really? I mean, I like it. I mean, everybody from 9 to 12 all have a shot at hitting that 9th seed. I mean, even the Suns. Let's throw them in there, right? They're young. They stronger immunity system, right? Fucking Dwight's running around with no mask on. Who knows if he's gonna get one of these young guns sick? But what I gotta pick for my first pick is gonna be the Grizzlies, the real Rookie of the Year, right here in Ja Morant. I think it's gonna be great.
And we'll probably go into the awards and stuff later on, but it's a strong argument. Zion has missed too many games.
Too many. It's like giving someone an A when they've only showed up to, half their classes, and played, listened half the time they were there. Right?
That's kind of how it is, though. I think some really smart people, and we know them, they would go to class only for the exams
Yeah,
and just kill it.
that was me. That was pretty
That
bad.
was
I
you.
felt bad.
Baller. All right, so as we're doing a little bit of a serpentine style draft, Don is also getting the third pick. So Don, who would you like to get next?
Dame Dollar, who should have been on that top 40. Oh, well, he's not at 40 yet. I'm going with Dame Dollar. I think Playoff Dame is one of the best shooting guards / point guards you can get in a guard. Can't count him out.
I like it. Quite frankly, if I separate my heart from my mind, I think Blazers have a really good shot here. Chances are Grizzlies will dip a little bit and allow teams like the Blazers and the team that I'm about to pick fourth to squeak on in there. So this team is probably the least exciting of the bunch, but it's hard to count them out. Every year, thanks to their coach, Greg Popovich, they find a way to squeeze into the playoffs with whatever talent they have left after their golden years are long behind them. Of course, I'm talking about the ageless wonders, the San Antonio Spurs. And, I know that they're on the bottom of this totem pole. They're sitting at 27 wins, 36 losses, just one game above the Suns in the win column. But I know Popovich will do what he can. I know he will really find a game plan that works. He'll probably treat every single matchup in this regular season that we're coming into with playoff intensity, and maybe even they'll go on a run. They may even win all 8. You never know. So that goes to that's our ranking there. I see Don has put down some interesting characters there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't count them out. I kind of wanted to pick the Spurs, but
No, you didn't.
I did, because I fucking love Pop as a coach, and his ability to navigate the team, regardless of the pieces he has, is astounding. I mean, he was already a Hall of Fame coach years ago, and he hasn't skipped a beat, or missed a step rather, with his aging self. He's still doing freaking fantastic, and my heart goes out to him. He handled his loss very, very well, and it speaks to his dedication to the craft and the beauty of the sport, which is different now. He plays that old school technical style basketball, or coaches that style, whereas now it seems to be more of the flashy sort of game. But he's adapting and using his team to the best of, pushing his team to be better than what they are.
Absolutely. And Don, you said it best, because he is all about the fundamentals. Him and Tim Duncan were one and the same mind. They knew the fundamentals: passing, rebounding, boxing out your man. All these things have to be taken care of before you can even think about the flashy stuff.
Hey, I gotta ask, do you think Tim's still the assistant over there, right?
I believe so.
Yes. One of two. I blank on her name. The other.
Well,
assistant.
there's also Becky Hammond.
There we go.
Right.
Becky Hammond.
But they have a couple of other assistant coaches as well. Okay.
Do you think Tim Duncan will ever make it as a head coach? Or will he be the next Patrick Ewing?
I think with time, all of these assistant coaches will get a head coaching opportunity sooner or later. We've seen it far too often. There's countless names out there who sit on the benches for these great coaches with great pedigrees, and they move on to bigger and better things. Case in point, you'll recall Mike Budenholzer, who is the current coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Prior to that, I think he might have been coaching the Hawks, but even before then, he was assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs, working under the leadership of Greg Popovich. And I think it just goes without saying, really, if you have the chance to learn how Popovich thinks and approaches the game of basketball, both on the offense and defensive side, and you parlay that to your new team, you're going to find success, and you're going to be a coveted asset in the NBA. So yes, I think Tim Duncan will eventually become a head coach. I know it's rarer for players of his caliber to stand out as successful head coaches. We know that Magic Johnson tried it once. He wasn't very good as a head coach. Questionable, I suppose. Jason Kidd was kind of a very abrasive head coach, from what I heard.
Well, he
terms
transitioned that intensity on the court right to the to the bench.
Yeah, he was cutting edge in more ways than one. That's true.
Hey, spill my cup!
But,
Spill my cup! Spill my
Yeah,
cup!
I love that. Could you imagine, like, that has lived on as an NBA meme for so long?
That's great.
Like, bump into me. Oh, the water, it spilled. Oh my God, no. Now we have to call a timeout, right? So, but we'll see how it goes. I do hope that Tim Duncan finds opportunity later on. Maybe, who knows? Somebody has to replace Popovich on the Spurs at some point. I think I don't know if Tim Duncan is ready for that yet.
Give it to
I
Becky.
would rather, yeah. Like, I honestly, like, Becky has been around longer, and I know she puts in the work. She's well respected by her peers as well as the players, and I think it would be such a Popovich move for him to be like, "Hey, R.C. Buford, this is my last year, but I want you to know that I have full support, full endorsement for Becky Hammond. I think it'll be the right decision to make her the first ever coach of the San Antonio Spurs that's a woman, and also first ever female head coach for the NBA.
Yeah.
Breaking new ground for sure." So, yeah, going back to this though, the bet that we're doing in terms of the price structure, I think we're allocating $10 for the 8th seed and 9th seed, and whoever wins the 8th seed, hopefully it's one of the teams that we picked. It'd be really embarrassing if it was the Kings or if the Mavericks slid down.
Sure.
But yeah, I think in total there's $40 here up for grabs, and needless to say, Don has already lost the plot. He's already, given up by letting me have the first pick. He knows that I would pick the winner. He knows that I would never, mess up this first pick opportunity.
Last time we drafted together, what happened?
I don't even remember. How about you tell
COVID
us?
hit.
Tell us what happened.
That's what happened.
Sure.
Season came to an end. We ended up with the shittiest teams in all of our leagues. Well, actually, in my league.
No, dude. Actually, real quick, we turned that team around from year one league.
We held on to some really key pieces that surpassed our expectations.
Yes, Trae Young.
Trae Young and Luka. I forgot our other guy. We had a big man that we kept, and I forgot who it was.
I think.
I'm blanking.
Oh, Miles Turner was kind of trash.
Turner was you can't win them all. You can't win them all.
Can't win them all. That's true. And sometimes you can't win them all, and sometimes you say things that are very, very loser-like, for lack of a better word. And one NBA player that has been saying some things that remind me of Dwight Howard, remind me of Don, is Michael Porter Jr. And what did Michael Porter Jr. say? Well, let me just read you the quote. And by the way, this article that I'm referencing is from Ryan Young, writer from Yahoo Sports. On July 2020, he released this article. He says, "Personally, I think that the coronavirus is being used obviously for a bigger agenda," Porter said. "It's being used for population control, in just terms of being able to control the masses of people. Because of this virus, the whole world is being controlled. You're required to wear masks, and who knows what will happen when this vaccine comes out. You might have to have the vaccine in order to travel. That'd be crazy." So I found it to be, well, first of all, let me just say this. I could care less about Michael Porter Jr. I barely know what the guy looks like. I know he's a rookie. I know he was talented in college. He had some probably significant back injury that kept him for most of the season.
He's a rookie, but he should be in his second year right now.
Yeah. And he's talented. Like, don't get me wrong. He can play. He can for sure ball. But this sounded kind of wild to me. Young guy, first of all. Usually you don't hear too many young people share this kind of opinion. I mean, other than Don and Dwight Howard, it's very few people who are straight up anti-vaxxers and who will defend their anti-vaxxer stance to death. I mean, these guys will die on a hill, never vaccinating anybody in their life.
I'm bringing the elephants down.
Yeah, oh no, don't bring down the elephants. My knights and horses can't handle it. So Michael Porter also claims he's never ever been vaccinated. He says, "I've never been vaccinated in my life. I've never had any shots or anything like that." This I found to be ridiculous, because if you play in the NCAA, you have to get your shots. To go to any U.S. college, you have to show your vaccination record. So he's talking some bullshit here. I don't know. And see, I want to get your opinion on this, really, Don. Do you think this is part of a trend started by the likes of your favorite player, Kyrie Irving, talking about things like flat Earth, talking about things like, oh, you know, the karma, the energy of the world, and I believe blah blah blah. Do you think this is just trolling? This is MPJ trolling at a high level, trying to get some kicks out of this COVID season?
I have. Think so. Well, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Trolling to try to get some views, build up a little bit of a social media gathering, or following rather. What I really think it is that these guys watch one documentary that isn't even probably a well-vetted documentary. It's something that these drunk asses probably, you know, flipped on and just got a hold of, left it on and absorbed some of it somehow, and feel like they're the smartest in the world because they've watched that one documentary, or that one YouTube video, or that one TikTok nowadays. So that 10 seconds of information is enough for them to dismiss common sense, number one, and the whole body of evidence against it.
You know, it's I think you hit the nail on the head, but it's so dangerous to me because Michael Porter Jr. isn't just any 19-year-old out there.
Is he 19?
He is, fuck. I want to say he's 19 or 20. He must be very young.
I feel old.
I know. We're like a third or a half of his life older than him, which is wild. But, you know, I will say...
Probably live longer because that fucker's not vaccinated, huh?
There you go. Reasons for optimism. Reasons for optimism. Always make sure you protect the ego. Rule number 1 in life, protect the ego. But I will say, it's dangerous for somebody like him who does have a social media platform, who is a recognizable celebrity/athlete, to be spewing this information, because he says this now, probably you're right, after talking to one person or reading one article or watching one 10-minute video on YouTube. He says this now, but what about all the kids that look up to him, right?
Sure.
What about all the people that, you know, follow the NBA and are rooting for him from Denver? If they hear stuff like this and COVID has affected their family members, how can you still root for this guy? I think you have to excuse him a little bit because he's a young man. Maybe he is too easily influenced and he'll change his ways over time. I think Coach Malone, he said it best. He said he understands the situation, referring to MPJ Jr., but we as an organization are not going to put a muzzle on anybody. If someone has a strong belief on something, they have the platform and freedom to use that.
Good for him.
We'll just try to educate guys so they understand the impact of what they say. So really, that's the key. The last sentence is the real crux of what Michael Malone is trying to say here. And I agree. I think you give people a chance to speak. Maybe they fuck up, maybe they make a mistake, and then you teach them, and they can expand. That's how they grow. So
I think that's something that we've learned, you know, growing up. You ask the questions, you raise your hand, and you learn from experience. You learn through conversation. Not every statement you make is going to be respected, or sometimes not even be valid. But, you know, what better way to learn than to use your communication to at least bring up the discussion of it. Hopefully that's something he's doing, not just kind of verbally, or, well, what, did he post this on social media? Was it a Twitter post? What was it?
Well, I don't know where he shared this. Let's see what it says. Snapchat Q&A session.
Oh, okay.
Snapchat Q&A.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So during an interview, quote unquote, interview.
Sure.
Yeah. I think Michael Malone's a good coach, and he understands that his team is a young team anyways. But, you know, he's such a talent, you kind of have to guard it to him a little bit and give him a little bit of slack. I feel like if there were someone else, somewhere lower tier, someone like a, how do we say, like a Lonzo Ball or like a Zion, coach would be immediately shutting it down. You're
becoming way too predictable. I can sense that a mile away. Like a player, let me think what player to say, Lonzo Ball. Yeah, I know you were going for that. It's an easy one.
I'm just saying.
I know. Yeah. But listen. I think you hit the nail on that. Communication is key. You have to find a way to communicate with each other. But you know what you do when communication simply does not work? You go to war. You send your troops out there. And in some cases, America has been doing that for ages and ages and ages. America, did you know, is now thinking of pulling out 12,000 troops out of Germany. This was astounding to me. This was astounding to me for multiple reasons. Number one, I didn't even realize we had more than 12,000 troops in Germany. That seems like a fictitious amount for Germany. Like, where are the German troops for that matter? You know,
Sure,
like
sure.
how many troops does the U.S. need to send? And then I started thinking, and I was like, wait a second. The U.S. has bases. It could be for their aircrafts, like could be naval, could be army bases everywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
South Korea, Germany, a bunch of different European countries, Belgium, Italy, Japan probably. It just goes on and on and on. And I think I know the answer to this, but Don, why do you think it's that way? Why do you think U.S. has its footprint everywhere?
Its footprint everywhere. I think it's just to make it known. We are still the number one power. We still lead the free world. And we have eyes and boots in all places.
And I think what you're getting at is it is strategic, right? To have
definitely.
troops that are close to the perceived enemies. Like, obviously...
Well, not necessarily enemies, too. It's also potential places of threat where enemies may go.
Sure.
So
That too. That's why Pompey... is it Pompey or Pompeo? I always forget what the guy's name
Mike?
is. Secretary of State. Yeah, Mike. Let's call him Mike. So Mikey P.
wait, Mike Pence? Pence? We're talking about Pence?
No. Oh, actually, let's not say Mikey P. Then let's just stick to Pompey. I want to say Pompeo. Let's go with Pompeo. So Pompeo, he was commenting on the affairs between India and China in the Ladakh region, in the Kashmir province, and he was saying something to the effect of, they're considering moving some troops to the border to help reinforce India and to help make sure that there's no continued threat from China. And this all ties in with the recent rhetoric, not even recent, probably over the past, 5-6 months, even before COVID, with the whole trade deal negotiations and whatnot. The Trump administration has been very anti-China. And this is yet another, step in that direction, allying with India, making sure that they have their presence felt close to China's border. Not that they're actually going to do it. I think more than likely the tension between the two countries, China and India, is starting to kind of simmer down a little bit. It's still going to be rather tense, but not nearly as bad as what it was just a month ago. So, I think it's one of those things where, as Don said, it's important to have troops nearby to areas which could be invaded, which could be threatened for whatever reason. And that's why U.S. is really spreading their force all over the world. And it makes people know, as Don alluded to, we're number one, right? At the bottom line, we're number one. Now, tell me this, though, Don. Do you know of other countries that do similar things? Like, yes, U.S. may have one of the biggest armies in the world, biggest, military, naval, air force. But what about the other countries? Do you think any other countries are setting up bases and different things all over the world?
Sure, man. China. Look at Inland Empire is basically being run over by them, buying all their property.
Ooh.
Setting up all those little mini bases, man. You know how many bunkers have been built?
That's a great point. I never really thought of China taking over in terms of just buying up property. But that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I think it has been shown in a lot of neighborhoods all over America, and even in Canada, actually. There's been an influx of Chinese investment, buying up houses, buying up streets of houses, mansions, whatever.
And I think
it might be.
that's worldwide, honestly, in all developed or at least near developed nations. They have their footprint everywhere. But that's more residential. That was more of a joking kind of. That's gonna happen in the future, guys. Be scared. I would assume some people in Europe would have that. I just don't understand European politics as much as yours truly. So,
Well, for that matter, I understand more or less UK politics, but European politics, particularly with the European Union, is also a little nebulous to me. I don't really have such a clear idea as to how their joint forces work. I'm sure they have agreements where they do have troops that are shared across borders and free passage and whatnot, but I think it's one of those things where we need to learn a little bit more about our country first. I have to understand how our troops are being allocated everywhere before I can really comment on whether or not other countries are doing.
By the way, I think you should bring up our new or introduce a segment that we hope to start off next week. I don't know if you're gonna finish it off since we're talking about strategery.
Please refresh my memory.
Sun Tzu.
Okay. So let me kind of break it down for the fans a little bit here. Over the weekend, Dawn and I were just kind of thinking of ways to entertain the audience, ways to entertain our legions of fans. And one of the things we thought of was, what if we decided to find a book that was compelling, that was interesting to both of us, and we took it one step at a time. Neither of us are quick readers, and neither of us have a whole lot of time to read books either. And we settled upon, after a lot of research, and credit goes to Dawn for finding really, really great recommendations. And by the way, Dawn, for your benefit, I think we'll share with the audience some of your very, very high-quality recommendations. Of course, the first one he brought up was none other than the Edward Snowden book that came out a few years ago, I think, right? Talking about, leaking everything and his life. He's a very intellectual person. And, I thought that was interesting, but it didn't quite grip me like some of the other choices did. So then we kept going. We kept talking about it. And Dawn also offered up Trevor Noah's autobiography, Born a Crime. That also is probably a great book. I'm just not particularly a fan of Trevor Noah. It's not that I have anything against him. I think I just haven't seen enough of him. And the clips that I've seen, I know he's funny, he's wise, he's talented, but I don't know. I would prefer other comedians.
And it's tough shoes to fill, fucking Jon Stewart's legacy.
Absolutely.
So, let's give him a little bit of credit. I think he's doing a fine job whenever I can catch him on.
Sure.
Entertaining, definitely appeals to the younger generation. More so than the older generation, but rightfully so.
Absolutely, and of course his upbringing is quite interesting. From the brief autobiography I read on the book jacket, another one that was kind of cool that Don recommended was King Confidence, the King of Confidence rather, written by Miles Harvey, and it's basically about this this guy that was almost like a cult leader of sorts. He was able to con his way through the Mormon Church and take lots of money and own like a quarter of a state that he was in. It wasn't Utah. It might have been like Michigan or Montana or something. I forget what state it was, but that seemed interesting. That was one of my more interesting picks out of the ones that Don recommended. And finally, he had Eat the Buddha by Barbara Demick, which of course is about the life and death in a Tibetan town where they talk about different cultures and rituals and the clash of the old and the new. Since none of those particularly piqued my interest and I was boring Don with my picks, Johnson's
Whoa, hold on. First off, Arjun goes on to ask, so what kind of books do you want to read? Like history, something historical. What kind of history? U.S. And then Arjun proceeds to go on with his infatuation with Europe. So go ahead and let them know your suggestions.
I will. So the first one I picked was Johnson's Life of London, the people who made the city that made the world. And of course that's by the Prime Minister, aka A's boy PJ, Boris Johnson. And then the other one, I'm sure Don doesn't have the foggiest idea what this is Jacob's Ladder by Michael Ashcroft. And it is about it's like an unofficial biography about conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg and his rise to power, so to speak.
As you could tell, clearly tied into U.S. history right there. Clearly.
Oh, they're practically the founding fathers. So now then I just started kind of putting it out there that, hey, what if we did Art of War, right? I always liked the idea of this book. I didn't read it ever. I knew it was short. I knew it was something that was doable. So we both agreed to it. We both said, F it, let's do it. It'll be dope.
How short do you think the book is?
Oh, I think it's probably like, 40, 50 pages, like something.
All right. How long do you think this book is, this edition?
200, 300?
Yeah.
So that basically what that shows you is the majority of the book is just commentary and pictures about what may be
it's also
happening.
in bigger print, right?
Good for people like us.
But what's nice is it's set up in the different lessons. So I think we could go through a couple lessons in the future, once we each receive our own copy, go through a couple lessons per session. Probably, as I would say it's a great way to end the podcast, especially with Art of War. Kind of give us a little reflection piece.
I like that a lot, actually. Now that you mentioned it, I think as a like a conclusion, like an outro, I really like that. So so just for the fans, I'll let you know. I don't have Amazon Prime. I know, boo-hoo. So I'm trying to hit that $25 threshold. And this book is only about 17-ish, 17, 18.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of what to get to clear 25. I got some ideas.
Man, you're probably better off going to like Target or something, trying to just pick it up.
Oh yeah, it's probably at the 99-cent store, to be perfectly honest. I could probably find it at the dollar store. But no, I want the same copy that Don got. I like it. I think by the way, we spent like a good half an hour looking through all the copies of Art of War hardcover on Amazon. Oh yeah. And there were some dope ones, right? Like the ones with the red cover.
I think so. But this one's beautiful. Cool. I gotta say, this one's good.
Okay.
Looking at the inside, it looks pretty well organized.
Sure.
And can't complain. It says it's a graphical depiction of it, so I do like looking at graphs and depictions of something that is open to interpretation given how old this text is originally. So I'm liking it. You made a good choice.
Well, I'd like to think it was a mutual choice there, but it also goes to show you that I can be rather picky when it comes to things I read.
Just reading. Yeah, I would say, a little bit all over the place. A little picky all over. I mean, look at that. You picked the Pelicans. You picked the Spurs. So picky. You had better options.
I know. I tend to be picky with a lot of things, even shows, like the shows I watch, music I listen to. Don knows I do this from time to time. Whenever there's like a new album out, like let's say Kanye releases Donda, right? Donda with Child, the new album that was supposed to come out last Friday. Chances are I would not listen to it until much later. And you'd be wondering, well, why would that be? That's ridiculous. It's new music by one of your favorite artists. Well, the reason is I kind of have a backlog of albums I want to go through first, including Kanye's last effort from last year, Jesus is King. Believe it or not, I have yet to listen to Jesus is King.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you, man. You gotta enjoy things while they're fresh, just like the food.
I think part of it is I set too high of an expectation on some of these things.
That is exactly why you gotta go and get it while it's fresh, to see if they meet that expectation, if they have that wow factor still.
Yes and no. And let me kind of explain my philosophy briefly. So I think with certain things, let's say like a TV show, right? If it's a TV show that is heavily watched by everyone, like a Game of Thrones, I fully understand the appeal of watching it concurrently. Every Sunday night, as soon as it comes out, you watch it, you get to discuss it with your friends the next day, you get to talk about it, it becomes a whole thing where you theorize, you come up with different ideas about how the show will end, and it becomes a very fun process, right? Like you get more than just the hour for that week for Game of Thrones, you stretch it out through the conversation, through the talking, the discussion, to hours of entertainment. So I think that's great. And also, you realize how hard it is to avoid spoilers. Everywhere you go, social media, a simple Google search, you'll get caught. You'll know what happens. You'll know who died. So it's in your best interest to watch it live, or as live as possible. Now, other things though, like let's say there's a show that I like, but I know it's not as popular as it once used to be, and maybe some friends that used to watch it, they don't watch it anymore. Well, that's all the better, because I know I'm not going to get hit with spoilers, or at least I try to avoid them. And number two, I can watch it at my own pace, right? Like I can just binge watch a few episodes a weekend, finish off a season in like a month rather than waiting like 3-4 months, right? So, I see pros and cons to it. With music in particular, keep in mind, I only do this with artists that I really, really enjoy or have enjoyed in the past. So it's a short list. I do it for Kanye, probably Pusha T, Kendrick, Jay-Z, maybe just those guys. At this point, maybe just those guys. Because anybody else, like for instance, when J. Cole dropped his 2 singles recently, right? Lion King on Ice and the other one, The Climb Back, right? I listened to it the same day. You know, I have no qualms about that, and it was great. We made it part of the podcast, and you know, we do have to be a little careful about playing the music on the podcast because, you know, you never know when the Alphabet Boys are watching, especially when you turn that music up to like 150% volume, louder than anything else, coming in clear through the radio streams. But you know, that's just me, and I agree though that I think the more you do that, the more you set yourself up for expectations that you may not reach. You may not like exactly what you're listening to. Jesus is King may be a disappointment. I've heard mixed reviews for it, and I've been there before. You know, I've definitely heard albums that I was saving for a while that turned out to be a bit of a letdown. I would say Nasir by Nas, featuring production from Kanye West. I thought that was a bit of a letdown. There were a couple of songs that I liked, but overall, for a long anticipated effort by Nas, disappointment. And I hate to say this may be blasphemous, but even Kids See Ghosts by Kanye West and Kid Cudi, that wasn't my cup of tea. I just wasn't really digging it that much. And you know, I'm sure Don has his own musical tastes and preferences, likes and dislikes. He may be more open to new music though than I am. Is that fair to say? Like, whenever new things drop, you pretty much listen almost immediately.
Oh yeah, man! Music Friday. That's like my morning routine on Fridays. I love it. On Spotify.
I like it. So that means then you probably listened to Taylor Swift's latest effort.
Oh, Tay Tay, Tay Tay. I'm all about that. And by the way, I think we should probably make this our last piece that we talk about.
I think so. We will tie up the loose ends here.
Yeah, what's wrong with Taylor Swift, man?
What's wrong with Taylor Swift? Well, yeah. I'll tell you this much. In the old house I used to live in with some friends in Santa Ana, my roommate at the time, he was a huge Taylor Swift fan. And
must be a good guy.
He was a nice guy. He was a nice guy, to be honest. But it was annoying. Like, his Taylor Swift fandom was a little bit annoying because he actually had, and I think one of his coworkers presented him this, a life-size cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift in a red dress. And because, you know, we split that room, right? We were trying to save money. So he actually kept that, like, in the middle of the room.
There we go.
And so,
as she should be.
I know, but, you know, every time I would walk in, it's there. And at times, like, sometimes he'd be, like, you know, gone for the weekend visiting his parents or something. I would always turn the cardboard cutout away, like in a corner or something, because I don't want to see Taylor Swift. I'm not trying to see Taylor.
Why?
You know, but
it's a good side to look at.
I will. Well, you know, I will say I respect her business acumen.
Yeah.
I respect her you know, her legacy, selling out Staples Center, being the most successful, whatever you want to call her, genre, country pop artist.
Sure.
In a decade. She's very good. She's very good at what she does, and she has very loyal fans that follow her through thick and thin. I just, you know, her music is just not for me. It's just not that appealing.
Sure.
You know, but I understand though. For you, it's really your style, right? Like, you appreciate that kind of, you know, style, the genre of music.
Well, I think just in general, like any genre, it offers something a little bit different. It opens up your minds and doesn't pigeonhole you into one particular style. And I think that's what's required in order to succeed in life. It's to be able to expand your horizons and take what works, take what you vibe with, even though it may not be the way that, you know, you originally thought to be worthwhile. You know, it ends up being it because it just has that one, you know, steel drum in the background that you really like, or they say something that's super simple but can provide you with a very complex thought. Stuff like that, man. Gotta expand.
Absolutely. And I think with that, we should put a close to the podcast and let the audience know that expanding is the right way to go. The universe is expanding. Our minds are expanding.
Hey, and I think, man, dude, to fill that, you know, Amazon free $25 shipping.
Don't you dare.
You should buy a cardboard cutout of none other than Tay Tay.
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm 100% good.
Kanye West, maybe? Kanye?
No, I'm not a cardboard cutout type of person. That's not really.
No,
my,
you don't want
cup
one of
of
those
tea.
like giant stickers. You can get one of like let's see, of John Morant or like LaMelo Ball. You know, get one of those on the wall. Fuck it, put it on the ceiling. You know, so it helps lull you to sleep with those crossovers they have.
If I were to get you that, would Kelly allow it to be hung up on the wall?
Hell no.
Understood. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting hour of the SoCal DNA podcast, and I think we did pretty good today. We came at you close to 8 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a fun experience as usual. And we're looking forward to the NBA season. Thursday we got a couple of big matchups: Pelicans versus Jazz, and Lakers versus Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
I know Don and I are very interested. We're very keen on watching that second matchup.
Oh yeah.
We'll see what we can do. And until then, guys, everyone be safe and take care.
Peace.